So I won't let you down. I'll catch up with the Hard Knocks.
I appreciate that. Have you watched Umbrella
you really
Academy season 2 yet?
I am.
Is there anything you're like caught up with that we can talk about?
No, so like I'm on the last episode of Umbrella Academy.
You work at home, bro. Find fucking time to watch those
It
episodes.
was not well. It was because I watch it with the boys, man, and
You're right. I'm just
and
trapped. Sorry to bother you.
well, and it's like finding time when we can all sit down and
Saturdays. Saturdays are for the boys.
Okay, yeah, you're absolutely right. You know what my oldest did, which was a proud dad moment, was he set up a gambling ring for the NBA playoffs. Some kids in the neighborhood.
That was the last thing I was ready to hear.
I'm sitting there. He's like asking me. We're outside. We're shooting, just kind of talking, and he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna bet on all these games." And he's like, "But we're just gonna do cans, like pop cans and stuff." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And he goes, "I think we're gonna make the max 10 cans you can do." And I was just like, "Look at you!" But he's like asking me everything like before we came in the house, and it was before we came in the house. This kid grilled me about every basketball team, and then as well as how he should run the gambling for this. And I'm like, well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was like, for you guys, I think you guys should just do series. Bet per series. I was just like, do it that way.
That's awesome.
So,
boy's about to be rolling in the sugar, though. You better be careful.
I'm
Dude's about to be tweaking if he's winning.
Oh man, I was just like, look at my little 10-year-old out here. Fucking, I didn't teach him about the Vic yet. That was my next. You might have to take somebody's kneecaps out, buddy. But no, that was a pretty fun, proud moment there. I was like, look at you, you little entrepreneur, you. Oh, so let me get it. Let's get into it, and then I'll check in with you. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Pro Fishing Fans. My name is CB, and with me is
Clay Haggard.
Clay. You gotta feel refreshed. You gotta feel great. Word on the street is that you just finished a paper, your second one. Mr. Procrastinator 8000.
Haggard 2020.
Yeah,
I did too, bro. I had 3 weeks to write this. I said, 5 days. That's all I need. 5 days. My birthday took precedence, man. My birthday was coming up, so like even though I knew I was gonna be gone a couple days, I just never. I don't know, man. I was just trying to enjoy my life for a little bit after that first one. So, but hey, I got it. I'm feeling strong about it. I got a 97% in the class, and I don't think I'm in much harm's way, so we'll be all right.
Could you not turn in the last paper and still pass?
That happened last year, actually, or last semester. Sorry, I just went MIA the last week. They're like, "Are you still here?" And I'm like, "Yeah." It was nothing. No. Wow, can't talk. Even without doing the last weekly discussion, I finished with 104% in the class. So
that's what's up.
I didn't feel the need to attend that final week.
Right.
So I don't know. But trust me, the numbers will be crunched. As long as I get C's, Verizon keeps paying for my classes.
That's the truth.
That's not my goal. I mean, my goal, I would love to 4-point. That'd be sweet in my master's program. So I'm going to still shoot for that, but.
That's a good goal.
It's a great goal. It's a great goal.
Anything else I have this week with you?
Nope. I'm down 20 pounds on keto. That's the monthly update.
How's that feeling? I mean, you had the one cheat day on your birthday.
Yeah, dude, I came back.
It was like a cheat meal.
Yeah, it was a cheat meal. I came back and my weight hadn't even fluctuated. I mean, it'll fluctuate between 3 pounds, day to day. That happens. I don't worry too much about that because it's still steadily going down weekly. So
right.
I ain't too worried. I got another coworker, so now I got 2 coworkers now doing keto. One of my guys lost 10 pounds in the first week. So he's off to a super strong start. But yeah, dude, the other dude's down 20 pounds. We're racking them up in my store right now. It's awesome.
So are you physically seeing the difference on your body, like the way your clothes are. That sounds strange.
No, I know what you mean. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I guess I haven't been paying much attention to it at all. I wouldn't say anything is too crazy, at least from just like putting my pants on or putting my shirt on. I did make a joke when we had to first go back to the store, about our denim shirts, and I was like, ooh, this these buttons are tugging a little bit. Because like, and we all came back and we all mentioned about like how we just like hit break and we're like, like we all gained weight. And
Right.
but no, I guess maybe yeah, like my shirts are fitting a little bit better now, but I guess it's nothing to the point where I'm satisfied, so I'm keeping my eye of the tiger going.
That's what's up. No, I mean that's great. I haven't paid attention to what I've been eating, but I haven't been eating a lot. You know what I mean? Like that I know of. Like I sat there and I was talking to T about that shit, and I was like, man, I was just like, I don't know. I was like, I was just like, I stepped on the scale and I didn't like what I saw, and I was just like, hey, I'm at this. Do I look like I should be there? And she's like, definitely not. And I was like, all right, cool. So at least I don't look ginormous. And then and she's just like, I don't get it. Like, I don't eat much. You know what I mean? Like, and I was just like, it is what it is. Like, I also, haven't hit it as hard as I had been before. So, just your body acclimating. So, what are we at now? We're about 6 and 45 seconds in.
Mm-hmm.
You think you got about a couple minutes, meaning long minutes, of the NBA? No, actually, I don't want to get in the NBA real quick. I do want to ask you something. So, I got excited for it, but I remembered what I wanted to ask you first, because it's just a real quick question. I really don't know. And if I don't ask it now, I don't know when I'm going to fit it in. So Michigan just announced the fact they're canceling the football season for the fall and moving it to the spring. Like it was, and I guess let's start out with, after hearing that, knowing that I know you're in Indiana, but I mean, like, after hearing that from your home state, what's your thoughts on something like that? Like
what specific? Like, do you mean moving football to the spring?
Yeah, I mean, do you even think that makes sense? Let's start there. Does that make sense at all?
I'll be honest, man. I'm so excited for the NFL. Like, I truly haven't thought about it. I haven't even sat there and had like a real deep dive into the situation and thought about like, how will this affect the conferences? How will, I guess let's just say Big Ten, since that's what we're focused on. Like, how will this impact the Big Ten? How will this impact the schools? How will this impact the students? Like, I really haven't put too much thought into it, man. Like, I was bummed. We all saw it coming. I think that's why when I kept on saying like, I'm staying optimistic. I think it was just because I had already dealt with the idea of losing the season. So I was just staying optimistic and hopeful that we would play on a whim. So I think I've already just buried all those emotions, and I haven't I've already gotten past my my depression stage.
Right.
Even though it was, and I'll be honest, with Coach Mel, like his first year, like I'm not opposed to him getting more acclimated.
College conversation.
Yeah, and I'm more acclimated. I thought you were talking about college.
That's cool.
You literally just said Michigan, so I was just assuming.
I thought because like, I mean, like we kind of already talked about the fact we knew we lost the season.
Yeah, well, I don't think but we didn't talk about moving into spring and all
question. That. I gotcha.
Yeah, nor did you ever say high school at any point in time.
I apologized.
All right, so I really don't care then, unless, I mean, you don't have any high school kids, so it doesn't affect me at all. But I mean, I guess it just is what it is. I guess it's going to be tough for like dual sport athletes.
That's because I tried to bring that question up, and nobody really had an answer, and I was just like, well,
yeah, I guess my dad brought it up to me earlier this week. I called him, and I do remember him mentioning that to me now. And I know like some kids used to do like baseball track in the spring. You know what I mean? Like I know that's very feasible.
That's a feasible one. Football and baseball is not.
But like, I think I told my dad, I was like, well, if it came down to it, I like personally at that time I would have picked baseball. Like I excelled at baseball more. I liked playing baseball more. So I guess it wasn't even like a big toss up for me. I was like, well, you just pick one. Like, that's just the way the world's going to work. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, sitting there complaining about it, they're not going to be like, oh, all right, well, would you like to stay in school another year?
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, it's just one of those things that's just like it's made a motto and super unfortunate.
Yeah.
You know, like that would have sucked missing my senior year of football.
Well, that's what I kind of want to get you into is that aspect of, putting yourself in those shoes. Like you very quickly said you would definitely go with baseball. And that's great. But would you have missed football, and probably not.
Played it because I played it my whole life. I wasn't in love with football. I love the game of football. That is very obvious. But when it came down to playing, dude, like baseball's always been my sport. That's what I've always excelled. And I was a good football player. I'm not saying I was trash, but like, I mean, baseball was just another level for me. And I enjoy. I mean, you enjoy being on the mound, like pitching, like balls in your hand, eyes on you, like you control the game. I super missed pitching my senior year because of my shoulder injury. But that feeling and then just fucking hitting dingers, like it's nobody's business.
Well, I mean, because of the fact that like a lot of people my age have kids that are being affected by this is kind of really where I started thinking about. I was like, man, I was just like, I could see my kids once again aren't affected. You know what I mean? They're too young. This isn't a big thing for them. CB was just disappointed because he doesn't get to go to a state game this year.
Fair. We all are, buddy.
Yeah. He's just like, he just asked me the other day. He goes, "Is there anything like big coming up soon? Like, going to a state game?" And I'm like, "Buddy, maybe this spring." So, yeah, it's I just often I see a lot of people just talk about the mental health of the kids for some of them. I think like it was like just around 35,000 kids in the state of Michigan being affected by this. So that's how many kids they have playing football, and that's the only thing that's getting moved. Because they at first I thought it was all fall sports, but it's just football, which was kind of nuts. Which I guess now I do want to roll into that conversation that you were definitely eloquently putting with the fact that Michigan State getting not getting to play, and you kind of were hoping on a whim that we were going to play, and then once it came down, and when I cut you off and I realized that you were talking about college is when you just talk about Coach Tucker. I just kind of want to I did all that just to kind of lead you up to hopefully catching that thought that you had about Coach Tucker.
Yeah. So, I mean, jumping back into him, like I know you and I touched on it the other week, but giving a new coach, with a new school and a new program, the ability to, not only come in and like start recruiting, but then say, tell you what, we're going to give you a whole buffer year. Oh, well, maybe not a year, but another 6 months. Like that's significant. That's a significant amount of time to continue to develop your coaching staff, your players, get a sense of direction, not only whip them into better shape.
Yeah.
Like there's just, I mean, like, but from a collegiate level in a whole, now granted, I know not every conference has basically said we're done playing in the fall. I think everyone will follow suit. I don't know why anybody would play in the fall and then some play in the spring.
Wasn't the SEC saying that they were rocking anyways?
I thought so. But I mean, you know how much can change in a couple weeks.
And I thought I saw it was the SEC and there was another conference that I felt like I knew was just like fuck it, we're rocking it. And
Big 12.
Was it the Big 12?
I don't know. Big East.
Oh. Now you're throwing shit out.
ACC.
That's the one I kept on thinking.
Pac-12.
But anyways.
Mountain West.
I walked to the grocery store today and man, I heard this guy go, "Man, did you hear about Western not playing?" I'm like, "Yeah, like fucking 8 weeks ago." But
sir, I have a sports podcast.
All I did was just hear it. He wasn't even talking to me, but in my head, I'm like, "Yo, like, I don't know, like." But he was older, so I'm not trying to make fun of him.
You should have just went up and like, "Hey, man, proficient fan, just give me your phone. I'll download it for you. I'll get it on there."
No, I can't take his phone. COVID.
Put gloves on, man.
I don't wear gloves at the grocery store.
I'm so used to having gloves at work. Everybody's just like, Give me that phone. It takes too long to instruct ignorant people.
Oh.
But no, man, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, like if we get football, cool. Like here's the thing I also look at, like with Big Ten, because I know they announced their goal is spring season. Like that seems pretty set in stone right now. Like that is what's being figured out and talked about and how they can do that. And as obviously a state guy, like I'm also down with having football from September all the way through like
that's right.
June, like May. I'm not opposed to that. So like it is what it is.
It's SEC and ACC. So yeah, it was those two that we're trying to.
Okay.
So you know what was funny? When you heard Nebraska come back and sit there and say, "Oh no, we're 100% with the Big Ten," when they were told, "Look, if you go play, that's your season, and how can we bring you back for that?" And then I sat there, I was just like, and imagine the amount of money, as you so eloquently said, that they would have lost had they tried to go play out of conference.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Big Ten, the name itself brings in money for the.
It doesn't really make sense for them to do that. And plus, if they were to do something like that and leave the Big Ten, like, when your team goes and does anything for the conference, which granted in the spring, if some teams or some conferences play and some don't, even if, Penn State goes on and like wins something, like that benefits the whole conference.
Right.
Like all schools get a divvy payout of like success from bigger schools. Like there is no downfall. So like for them to just leave, like there's nothing positive I feel like comes from that situation. Now, if it was like half the league played and half the league didn't, you know what I mean? You can't really say we're going to have a spring season. You wouldn't have enough. But to be like the one and only, just to be like, fuck it. Like, we're going to go do our own thing. Like, okay, Notre Dame, have fun, not being in a conference.
Yeah. I just thought about how much money they would lose. And then they're going to be, and I was like, what, they're going to go independent? I'm like, they're already pushing Notre Dame and what's the other independent team? There was one other one that I can't recall. But anyways, that didn't even make that. Yeah, I mean, they're already pushing big schools to be in it. And you lose money. Well, Notre Dame has that NBC deal, but.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. So, did you see Dame Dollar this week?
I didn't get to watch any of those Blazers games, dude. I literally every day, every week, I kept the TV off so I could write my paper.
I keep on forgetting you had that.
Yeah, but I got to see highlights, and homie's possessed. He's unconscious. I think his lowest scoring game in the last week was 46 points.
Yeah. He scored like 124 points over 3 games.
I actually don't know how much he put up against the Grizzlies in that.
That was 40. That was at 46, I believe.
That's crazy.
Because I remember I don't know if I hit you or the group chat about Dame's got 42 or 39 going into the fourth.
Oh yeah, that was the group.
Man, he's phenomenal. And I heard somebody say, or maybe it was a headline or something, why is nobody talking about Dame Lillard being the best in the NBA?
That was Kendrick Perkins.
Was it him? Yeah.
That's because LeBron James is playing basketball. Just thought.
But I mean, people still put like Ant in that conversation. KD, you know what I'm saying? Like, why isn't Dame in that? I mean, shit, I feel like they're even already talking about Devin Booker.
The way he's performing now, yeah. And I was just going to say Devin Booker. If that's the case, TJ Warren, GOAT. Like, I mean,
Devin Booker's been dope for years.
But what I'm saying is right now it's bubble hype. And Dame has backed it up, so it's legitimate. Devin Booker's backed it up. It's legitimate. TJ Warren is having an outbreak right now. Like, my thing is like, in my personal opinion, as far as quality of basketball since the bubble, I think it's been trash. I don't think it's been like, no one's right now. I mean, Dame is putting up points, but my point being is, can we say had COVID never hit and everybody was like peak, would he be putting up 60 some points, 50 some points? Not to say he can't. He's proven himself to be dope, but I think you see where I'm coming from. Like, I think it's fair to say that there has been a lot of sloppy play in the bubble. Kind of like your sloppy whiskey skills. I'm just gonna assume you spilled your glass.
I was really trying not to fuck up the flow there, man. But like
No, you're good. But no, like, so I guess that's just kind of like where my head's at. It doesn't take away anything from Dame Lillard. Like, I mean, we've seen that dude ball. Like, with a little bit of help, he would have already been in a finals. You know what I mean? Right. So yeah, no, I don't take anything away from him, man. But I will say that now that we have our playoffs, you know, even that Blazers Grizzlies game was intense. But now that we have this playoff, man, there's going to be a lot of these veterans who I think are going to be able to flip that switch. Like, I think Bron can flip it. I think Ant can flip it. Giannis can flip it. You know, like, you're going to see Russ and Harden flip that switch. Like, now you're going to see all of these vets take care of business the way they're supposed to. So, you know, and like Dame's got the Lakers first round. And I'll be honest, like, even with him balling out, bro, LeBron ain't going to just lay down. They're going to just let that happen.
I'm a part of multiple Laker groups on social media. And I sit there and I see people say, you know, what the fuck are they doing? How are they losing? We're losing so many. I'm just like, the last game of the fucking regular season that the Lakers played, LeBron James played 15 minutes. Chill the fuck out.
Yeah. Ant Sant. And I think Ant Sant, didn't he?
Yeah.
I don't even think he played.
Like, I was getting frustrated. I was just like, what the there's nothing to prove.
Mm-hmm.
We got our spot. Let's rest our stars because we're going to ride them hard through the playoffs. I expect for us to have I expect us to. I filled out my bracket last night just ocularly, you know, and I was just like, I don't like the idea of playing Portland. I like the idea of Dame Lillard, you know, saying just give me a chance and I'll get us into the playoffs, and he backed that shit up. I respect that. I just don't like, and I really just don't like playing him at this point. I was really rooting for the Grizzly Saturday. I would have much rather seen them.
That's fair. I mean, I would too. Why would you not want to play an easier opponent?
So, did you have you got a NBA account?
Yeah, I'm trying to. It says registration. I could have swore I already had one, but
I was gonna say let's fill out a bracket for this one. This one's one will actually, even though I got hockey on right now, Flyers up.
Yeah, I got Red Sox Yankees.
I was getting ready to start watching that, and I was like, you know what? These are their playoffs, so I figured I better check it out.
That's fair. But yeah, man, I got my bracket right here if you want to narrate through it.
Well, so round one, as we just spoke, the Lakers are against Portland.